What-ho there, listener. Eduard Welch here. Welcome back to my parlor. Please, have a seat. So I've told you of my times at Eton, how I was not able to play for the rugby team there, and how I came to learn of a different type of rugby being played in the colonies. I've said a little bit about how I got into broadcasting doing the morning announcements in my primary school. But what I have not touched on is the origin of my time doing play-by-play for sports. Now, you may know at Eton there is a game that is quite creatively referred to as the Wall Game. It's a game played next to a long wall, a slightly curved brick wall, first erected in 1717. There is a strip of grass that runs along this wall. It's known as the furrow. It is 110 meters long. And just like the rugby we know and love, and the football we know and love, the aim of the game is to move the ball from my end of the field down to your end of the field. Into the calcs, you can earn a shy, which is worth 1 point, by lifting the ball against the wall with your foot, and then another teammate touches the ball with his hand and shouts, "Got it!" That is a shy. Similar to the drop kick, anytime during the course of play, a player can kick the ball towards the goal, and if he hits that garden door at one end, or hits the tree at the other end, that's worth 5 points. But here is the thing about the Wall Game. It is madness. It is madness and chaos, as it is a group of young boys all pressed up against the side of one wall. You do not have space to kick. You barely have enough space to breathe. It is a madhouse of pushing, shouting, grabbing, pinching, hitting. And it was there, sit atop this wall, I, alone, was calling out the plays as it happened. Reading through that chaotic scramble, I knew all the names, I knew all the numbers. And as I kept talking, I noticed my classmates were moving closer and closer to me on the wall. And that is when I thought there might be something there. I need to explore sports broadcasting. When last we spoke, I was sharing how the Eton Wall Game led to me catching the bug for sports broadcasting. One moment stood out. The most important wall game of the entire academic year is played on St. Andrew's Day. The Wall Game is a morning game. You get up, you have your prayers, you eat, and then you go right out to that wall. 6 a.m. on the dot. Now, the St. Andrew's Day game is a perfect distillation of the English class system. In it, the collegers, an elite subsection within the Eton school politic, take on the Opidons, who are the rabble. Of course, rabble within the confines of Eton is not the same as the rabble that you would see out there on Leicester Square. The collegers had a small pool of only 70 boys to choose from for their team, whereas the Opidons, the rest, have a mass of over 1,200 boys to call from. Now you can imagine any general manager out there would much rather have a large pool from which to draw players. But the collegers have one distinct advantage. They own the means of production. They alone have access to the field, the furrow, which lies next to the wall. There they can practice. There they can strategize. And only if they deign to allow it may the Opidons come out onto the furrow in which to practice for the game. We, the rest of the boys who weren't participating, we see are there perched on top of the wall, And there, in the early morning light, you see the collegers marching down from the far end of the field, arms locked together, aristocratic chins pointed upwards in the air. They march towards the field of play. The Oppidans, by contrast, come in a horde, spilling over the mountains, cheering, jeering. They sing songs with words I could not repeat, even in an intimate room like this one. And for the St. Andrew's Day match, the Oppidans, like the barbarians sieging the walls of Rome, they throw their caps over the wall and they climb over the wall in defiance of the collegers, saying, "This is our wall today. Today this wall is ours." And in my last year at Eton, this was November of 1949, at that St. Andrew's game, I saw something, well, this is how the call went. The collegers are in a scrum. The collegers are in a bully. It looks as though, Johnson has the ball pressed up against the wall. Johnson, he has a wall of Oppidans all around him. Johnson picks it up, passes it to Cameron, and what is this? It was, dear listener, it was ridiculous. Through the gray clouds there at Eton, they separated for a moment, and a beam of light came down onto young Cameron's face. Shocked by this change in environment, the Oppidans paused, no longer crowding around Cameron. They gave him space, and sensing that moment, Cameron grabbed the ball, and with one powerful kick, he launched it way down the field, and dear listener, you know what it hit? You know exactly what it hit. It hit that garden door. Bang! 5 points. 5 points. It was the most points scored in an Eton Wall game in 100 years. And I was there to call it. You don't get many opportunities like that.